Imagine waking up to find your town empty, your neighbors gone, and an invisible killer sweeping through the streets. Between 1347 and 1351, the Black Death wiped out nearly half of Europe's population. But what really caused it? How did it spread so fast? And what strange things happened during this horrifying chapter in history? Let's uncover the dark history and some surprising facts about the deadliest pandemic the world has ever seen. What was the Black Death? The Black Death was a devastating pandemic that struck Europe, Asia, and North Africa in the mid-14th century. It's believed to have been caused by the bubonic plague, a bacterial infection spread by fleas on rats. Death toll? 75 to 200 million. It's estimated that the Black Death killed between 75 to 200 million people worldwide. In Europe alone, it wiped out about 30 to 60% of the population in just 4 years. The name Black Death came later. During the pandemic, people called it the Great Mortality. The term Black Death wasn't used until centuries later, possibly referencing the blackened skin caused by septicemia. How did it start? The plague is thought to have originated in Central Asia, possibly near modern-day Kyrgyzstan. It traveled along the Silk Road via trade routes and reached Europe through merchant ships. Arrival in Europe. In 1347, 12 Genoese trading ships docked in Messina, Sicily. The sailors were either dead or gravely ill. Within days, the plague began to spread inland like wildfire. How it spread? The main transmission method: fleas carried by rats. But it wasn't just the rats. Human contact, clothing, and airborne droplets also helped the disease leap from town to town. Horrifying symptoms. Victims developed painful, swollen lymph nodes, called buboes, fevers, vomiting, and dark blotches on the skin. Most died within 2 to 7 days of infection. Strange cures. People tried without any understanding of germs. Medieval people tried bizarre remedies, carrying posies of flowers to purify the air, bathing in urine, drinking crushed emeralds, flagellants. Religious fanatics whipped themselves in the streets to seek God's forgiveness. Doctors in beaked masks. Those creepy plague doctor costumes with bird-like beaks? Real. The beaks were filled with herbs and vinegar-soaked sponges. They believed the aroma would protect them from bad air. Whole towns disappeared. In some areas, entire villages were abandoned. Homes were left untouched, fields went unharvested, and churches stood empty. Many places were never resettled. Plague pits and mass graves. With so many dying daily, there weren't enough people or time to give proper burials. Victims were dumped in mass graves, known as plague pits, often unmarked and forgotten. Animals were blamed too. Some people believed cats and dogs were spreading the disease. As a result, thousands were killed, ironically making the rat problem worse. Scapegoats and persecution. In their desperation, people looked for someone to blame. Jewish communities, lepers, and outsiders were accused of poisoning wells and causing the plague. Thousands were tortured or killed. Economic chaos. With half the workforce gone, wages soared and food prices fluctuated. Serfs gained more bargaining power, and Europe's feudal system began to unravel. Impact on the church. The church lost credibility. Many priests died or fled, and people questioned how a loving God could allow such suffering. This would later fuel the Protestant Reformation. Art and literature turned dark. Medieval art changed. Skeletons, grim reapers, and danse macabre themes, the dance of death, appeared everywhere, reflecting a society obsessed with death and mortality. Plague revisited. The Black Death didn't vanish in 1351. Recurring outbreaks happened every 10 to 20 years in parts of Europe, all the way into the 18th century. The plague may still exist. Yes, the bubonic plague still exists today, but we now have antibiotics. Cases are rare but pop up occasionally in the US, China, and parts of Africa. Did it help end the Middle Ages? Many historians argue that the Black Death accelerated the end of the Middle Ages and the rise of the Renaissance, as it reshaped Europe socially, politically, and economically. Final fun fact: DNA evidence from ancient teeth confirms the bacteria Yersinia pestis caused the Black Death. Scientists have even reconstructed its genome, bringing us closer than ever to understanding this deadly chapter in history. The Black Death wasn't just a tragedy, it was a turning point in human history. If this video gave you chills or made you think, leave a comment below. Which fact surprised you the most? And don't forget to subscribe for more haunting and eye-opening history from the past.
Stay curious and wash your hands.